I want to take a moment tonight to relay a little story that happened to me just today. I was taking my youngest son to the dentist. He's not on our insurance plan yet. He was just recently gone through the adoption process. So he's not on our dentist, not seeing our dentist yet, so I had to take him to a place called Cool Smiles over in Vancouver, Washington. Over near the mall. It's near the Target on the opposite side of the freeway from the mall in Vancouver, Washington, for anyone who's in that area. It's next to the buffet near the Barnes & Noble and the $3 cinema over there. So it's not the greatest area, but it was, you know, the one he's been going to, so I took him to it today. While I was there, I needed to fill out some paperwork. So I sat down, I started filling out the paperwork, and I'm sitting in a little area. There's like a little half wall between me and the front. You know, the front it's in one of those plazas. So the front's all glass with big double doors. So I'm sitting there, and there's like a little half wall between where I'm sitting and the door. And I start hearing a little bit of a commotion, and I'm like, you know, not really thinking anything of it because there's kids playing over here on the machines, and there's people roaming around. So it's not really that unusual to be hearing something. I'm thinking maybe I'm just hearing something when the door's opening. And then I start hearing this lady screaming, "You can't take him, you can't take him, the judge says you can't take him." So I stand up and I look over the half wall, and there's this man and this woman fighting over this little, looks like a 2-year-old boy. She's got him, he's kind of on her back. Looked like he was riding piggyback on her back, and she's trying to turn around and grab him and pull him back. And the man is screaming, "I just want to hug my son, I just want to hug my son." She's like, "No, you're not supposed to be here, blah, blah, blah." So I stand up and I walk over and I'm like, "Do I need to call the police?" And the woman was like, "Yes, call the police, yes, call the police." And the man started screaming, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm just someone asking if I need to call the police." He said, "Well, you call the police. I got a court order. I got a court order. This is my son. I got a court order." I said, "You know, I'm not saying he's not your son. I'm not saying who's what here." I was like, "But you're in a public place acting like an idiot, and the way you're yanking on this kid looks like you're trying to hurt somebody." And he's like, "I'm just trying to hug my son." I was like, "Well," as he's trying to pull his kid off, he's trying to back out the door with the kid. I'm like, "Looks to me like you're trying to grab the kid and run, so no one's going anywhere until the police come." And I'm calling the police. I get my cell phone out, I start calling. Of course, he starts going off on me about, who do I think I am, blah, blah, blah. Why am I getting involved in his business? You know, I don't know him. I don't know his life. And I'm like, "You know, I don't know you. All I know is you're in a public place. You're in a dentist's office acting like an idiot. And I'm not going to let someone run off with someone's kid while the mother's standing there, who I assume is the mother, is standing there screaming, 'You can't take him, you can't take him. The judge says you can't take him.'" I was like, "All I'm going to do is call the police. When they get here, you can show them your court order. You can do whatever you want." Well, while he's busy arguing with me, and by the way, this room has got other men and women in it, and no one was standing up and saying anything. The only other person in the room that was man enough to stand up and come over and say something was this little black lady, and she got up and came over and started giving him hell about, you know, "You need to start thinking about the kid. You're hurting the kid. I don't care if you are his dad. You're being a jackass and you're hurting this kid." So she started going off on him. He got distracted with me and her. So the mother takes back off over to the counter of the dentist office. She is over there with the kid. By this time, all the employees of the dental office have come out. They're calling the cops too. So I walk outside because he's got his interest on me now. So I walk outside with the phone. I'm calling to the police. He goes out to his car, comes back with 2 other women, you know, said, "I've got a court order, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "No, I don't care what you got." And he starts going off on me. "What are you? You so damn stupid. You got an IQ of 50. I don't know why you're," you know, just these weird insults that came from nowhere. Then he kind of gets in my face while I'm on the phone with the police. And I'm talking to the police, I'm describing him. They're like, "How tall is he?" You know, when I say he got in my face, he really kind of got in my chin and collarbone, because he's about this tall, probably weighed about 90 pounds. He probably weighed like 130, but you know, he looks like the proverbial 90-pound little weakling. And of course, he thinks he's a tough guy. So I'm talking on the phone. They're like, "Is he white or he's black?" I'm like, "He's black, about 5'7", probably weighs about 120 pounds. I'm telling him what he's wearing. They said, "Is he presenting a danger to you?" And I was like, "He's in my face," because I kept telling, as I'm talking to her, she can hear me say, "Get out of my face." She's like, "Is he presenting a danger?" And I was like, "Not yet, but we'll see." So he's kind of like chest to chest with me. I get done, I give him my name, I give him my phone number in case they call me back. They tell me police are on the way. I put my phone back in my pocket. He's right in my face, and he's trying to go back to the mother. And I'm like, "No, you're not. You two just stay apart until." He's like, "What authority are you keeping me from my son? What authority are you keeping me from my son?" I'm like, "I'm doing it on nobody's authority. I'm just not going to have you attacking someone while I'm standing right here. So if you want to sit down and calmly wait for the police, that's fine." Well, then he's all in my face. He's all bumped up against me. he's trying a little chest bump thing against me, you know. And another thing I should add is when I told the police, when they said, is he black or white, and I said he's black, he's like, yeah, that's right, I'm black, you better watch out, I'm black. And I'm like, what does that mean? You know, I don't care if you're black, you're white, or you're yellow, you're like 110 pounds soaking wet, you're not really much of a threat to me. Of course, I always look at someone as they are a potential threat, because as soon as you determine someone's not a threat, they're going to stab you. So, you know, I was always careful to watch his hands. He didn't look like he had any place he could have anything on him. But, you know, I was careful to watch, you know, if this guy was going to make any threatening moves towards me. So at that point, I noticed that all the nurses that had come out and the technicians, whatever they are, working in the dental office, had taken the baby and taken him in the back. They said, you know, we'll have him back here when the police come. Just tell us when the police come. So that time I decided, well, you know, I don't have any reason to stand between him and her anymore. The baby's gone. I don't care if him and her argue all they want. So he's standing chest to chest with me. I just decided, I've got my back against the doors because I was keeping him from going back in. So I just decided to take 2 steps. I took 2 steps forward. Well, of course, me taking 2 steps forward knocked him completely off balance, and he starts staggering backwards like, are you going to hit me? I was like, I'm not going to hit you. I'm walking out of the way so you can go inside. So he goes around me, goes inside, he starts acting a fool enough in there that the people in there say, that's it, get out. So when they tell him to get out, I go ahead and hold the door for him, he goes out. As the way he's going out, he's calling me all kinds of names, like once again telling me I have a 50-point IQ, and both him and the 2 women he's with start going, you're irrelevant, and putting their hand in my face, you're irrelevant. And I'm like, that has got to be the oddest, insult or personal attack or whatever I've ever had, someone tell me I'm irrelevant. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then he starts going off on me again, and one of the ladies he's with starts going off on me and like, what are you doing in our business? Why do you think you need to get in our business? And I'm like, listen, I'm not in your business right now. I was like, but if you want to keep running, I told the guy, if you want to keep running your mouth and come up on me again and give me reason to get in your business, well then I'll be in your business. Now the bad thing about all this is I was armed the whole time. And I shouldn't be putting myself in this kind of situation when I'm armed. I mean, I know it's a bad idea, but when you're sitting there and you're seeing this happen and you see no one else is doing anything. Now granted, it was mostly women in the waiting room and kids, but you know, what do? Do you stand up, do you do something, do you not do something? I didn't get physically involved, I didn't throw any punches or try to hold anyone down, but I did put myself in a situation where he could have attacked me. Now, a lot of people will say that was a stupid thing to do while I'm armed, and I kind of agree, it is stupid to get into a conflict when you're armed. But I think that when there's an imminent threat, you kind of have to make a decision to sometimes take some risk. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I would have much rather had to stand on the neck of an innocent man than I would have let a baby disappear and never be seen again or turn up dead a day later. So I made the decision that I was going to get involved. But was it the right decision? Who knows? Who's going to say? Nothing really turned out bad from it. The police came. They talked to him for a while. It almost ended up with them arresting him. Most of you out there with any experience knows how that goes. Try to help people, and eventually one of them starts begging you to take them to jail pretty much with their behavior. So, you know, he's about borderline getting ready to be taken to jail. It breaks down to him crying and screaming on the sidewalk, you know, falling to the ground, real theatrical. So, you know, I'm like, well, this looks like it's diffusing out there because the police have told him you're not getting the kid. I was really afraid that he was going to get the kid because if he had a court order to have the kid, the police would have probably turned the kid over to him. Turns out he didn't have a full court order. He just had a Family Plan Act. All the Family Plan Act does is state that the mother they have joint custody and the mother agrees to work with him. The child lives with the mother, but she agreed to have, so he had no legal authority to become taking the kid at all. And it turned out, after talking to the grandmother of the child, who was also there with her daughter, and after talking to the police afterwards, just 3 days earlier, the guy had gotten into a car wreck with the son and his daughter in the car and killed the little bit older daughter. I think they said she was 4, and the boy looked like he's about 2 to me. So, I know there's a lot of emotion there. And one of the things I told the other lady that got involved is like, you know, I don't know who's right or wrong. Because I don't know. Maybe he does have a court order that he's supposed to have the kid. Maybe this mother's a horrible person. But she's playing it off right now like she's the nice lady that's the good mother who has the court orders to him to stay away. But, you know, that could all be lies. For all we know, he could be trying to take the kid away from her before she takes him back to the crack den with, you know, with the pimps and stuff, for all we know. So you never know in a situation like that who's right, who's wrong. The irrational one is not always the one who's wrong. But at that point in time, I just had to deal with who was acting how and stop the situation, and that's what I did. It ended okay. No one got hurt. I never had to even get physical with anyone. No one got physical with me. I had to take a lot of insults, but you know, as you can tell from some of the videos I post on YouTube, I don't mind taking insults. I actually sometimes enjoy the back and forth. Online it's a little better because online at least they're not spitting on you when they're doing it. He did spit a lot when he talked. So hopefully I don't have hepatitis now or anything. But that was the story of what happened today. Was it irresponsible behavior? Yeah, maybe it was. But if I had to do it again, I'd do it the same way, because like I said, I couldn't wake up tomorrow and have a kid disappear and me be responsible for it.